Heartstopper comes in a number of different guises. There's the footy match that swings from one moment to the next, the lead changing, the heart in the mouth, right up until the final siren. Or then there's the chase, miles behind, the clock ticking down, and the frantic fight back. Well, we've got plenty of both as we look at some of the Bombers' great finishes over recent years. The first was one of the most famous matches of post-war years. Anzac Day at the MCG. It was round 4, 1995, and the second biggest home and away crowd in history. Some 94,000 there to see the Bombers and the Magpies. Collingwood hadn't won a game for the season to date. Essendon, though, third on the ladder with 3 straight wins. We pick up play in the third quarter as Collingwood make up a 16-point half-time deficit.
Well, some changes by Lee Matthews. McGuan out on the wing on Masiti, and that's been an interesting one. Denham gets it across to Long, fires through the hand pass to Fraser. He's decked after he got rid of his kick. Fletcher on the forward line, off hands to Cockatoo Collins. A goal! His second. Yes, he looks like a real mover and shaker, the kid from Collingully. He's gone from Collingully to Collingwood in one fell swoop. Williams gets the hand pass out. Wright. A huge improvement on last week, Wright. Grabbed by Grenville, who spent the first half on the bench. His kick to the centre of the ground, and the mark is taken by Hurd. Now Ola Renshaw. A chance for the Bombers to hit back. Fletcher, right in front. Christian, nowhere to be seen.
It's better by Ola Renshaw then, Terry.
Much better in that it was a lot more direct in the way in which he brought the game. This was a good feat by Hurd, very quickly. Ola Renshaw, the one bounce, no variation, no deviating too far out onto his left foot, and actually Fletcher was quite effective in being able to give Christian the slip.
So Dustin Fletcher, defence, attack, a spill on the bench. His kick is good. Close to the boundary line, well below strength Collingwood, but they've lifted and they lead on the scoreboard by 9 points. Diving mark by Williams. Movement by Brereton. Very high ball by Williams. It holds up into the... Rocker! Well, what Brereton's doing is taking some focus of the defenders away, and he's causing them bother up there.
It's a very good mix just at the moment between Rocker and Brereton. They're working very well together. Here Rocker always remains aggressive at the ball, and then the addition of Brett James as the little forward pocket in underneath, and the work ethic that Lee Walker is showing at centre half forward, particularly now on the new opponent Cransberg while Harvey's off, has been very, very good for Collingwood.
Well, there's Dermott. He's reviving a career that stalled and just about died. But Sav Rocker is going for goal number 6 again. Home for all money.
A 7-goal third quarter for the Pies with big Sav Rocker, the danger man, and Buckley too looming as a match winner. At the last break, the Pies led by 14 points.
Denham goes forward, 22 points. The Magpies lead by. Watson doing well in defence. Shane Watson brings it wide. Collingwood have got numbers at the ball. The punch away favours Simons. Michael Simons. Oh, bad hand pass. Bad skill error. Allows Gavin Brown to hook it back to centre wing. A one-on-one contest. Gary O'Donnell versus Jason Wilde. Experience versus youth. Denham further afield to Simons. Now on to O'Donnell. O'Donnell into the pocket and Alessio a clever mark. Now he should move it quickly. He does. James Hurd is... Oh, brilliant mark. A fantastic mark taken by O'Connor. But it's come down. He's obviously been moved.
Made the move. Fletcher's gone back to Rocker, and Ryan O'Connor into the forward line. Could pay off immediately. The gloves go out.
Oh, Hurd had a touch of that. That's a very doubtful mark. It looked a mark in the real motion, but having a look at that again, Hurd got a touch and then it hit the ground.
Yep.
Well, that could be a vital decision. O'Connor directly in front. Kicks for goal. And what's he done? He might have missed this. Bad miss. They need everything at the moment, the Bombers. Magnificent second half by Collingwood.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good effort by O'Connor to stretch, but yes, P, you accurately call it. There's a little bit of hand in there from Hurd. Christian had every right to question it, I think.
Now here's James Hurd at right half forward. Bombers desperately needing a goal out of this. The only goal for the final term so far to Rocker. O'Connor goes back. Cockatoo Collins kicks the back of the ball. In the goal square, Somerville marks. Well, certainly, surely he couldn't miss this. And maybe the Bombers aren't done with yet. 99 plays 78. 65 goals in his career of 80 matches. Somerville from point-blank range, goals. His second today, and the margin 15 points.
And so it's still right within striking range of Essendon. They're going to have to really look to use their height in the forward line. O'Connor is down there now, and Somerville deep into the goal square. That's perhaps where they can exploit it, but it's all going to start in the centre bounce. Can they take over from Buckley, Brown and Hassel?
So back to the vital centre bounce. Essendon with numbers there. Michael Long there. Shea Cockatoo Collins. A couple of very skillful players Sheedy's put down there. Michael Long. He might weave a bit of magic here. One bounce. Onto the left boot. Brings it back in front of goal. Somerville at the back. The ball hits the deck. In they go after it. Mercedes there. Now a chance for Barry Young. Up in the air off the side of the boot. Michael Simons. Over the back of Simons. Snuck through for behind. Mick McGuan did that. And there he is. Played a magnificent, as I said, third term. 13 possessions. Collingwood not out of the woods yet. Essendon have got a habit of fighting back.
Well, they came from 5 goals behind Melbourne last week here at the MCG to get up and win, running away. Kick by Krasisco. And the mark taken by Watson. Plenty of space for Gavin Brown. Long closes the gap with his pace, or O'Donnell it was. O'Donnell. Brown's kick to the 50. Oh, it was headed for Brereton, tipped away from him by Williams, his teammate. Darcy, back to Grenville. All Essendon in the middle of the ground. Simons. Play on, says the umpire. He's drawn a man. Ola Renshaw. Collingwood looking a bit tired during this passage. Wide it goes to Hurd. But Krasisco, well played. He's beaten the champ today.
Very poor play, though, by Essendon again on the forward line. That ball really should have been belted to the top of the square.
Now that they've got the tall option in the goal square, they really need to attack it.
So here's Somerville versus Monkhorst. Good umpiring to call it on. Here's Mercedes receiving from Long. 2-on-2 contest. Somerville! No, it's not. It's Young. Oh, Essendon coming back. Barry Young's mark. 15 metres out, directly in front. Well, this game deserves this sort of finish.
Again, and Michael Long, who's been moved into the centre by Kevin Sheedy. Mercedes, who has been lowered his colours there to McGuan in the latter part of or during the third quarter, finds Young with good body work.
Barry Young kicks his first. 8 points the margin. What a cliffhanger.
This has been a tremendous piece of play here. The Essendon have been able to, after Collingwood came out and kicked the first goal of the quarter, to take a handy lead. Essendon have come back with the last two. A lot of work being done in the midfield. Cockatoo Collins and Longy.
Lee Matthews looking concerned. The Bombers have kicked the last 2. The margin is 8 points. Collingwood in front. Monkhorst, dead heat just about. Brown, the ball wrestled away from him. Somerville, play on to the umpire. O'Donnell dumps it long to the forward line. Off hands it goes. Alessio gets it going forward. Well done by Burns, but out on the full. Oh, Scott Burns, playing in his 4th AFL game, a 20-year-old from Norwood, floats it out of bounds, and Ola Renshaw, still a lad, but experienced with already a premiership behind him. Too far out to score. He centres it. Hurd is there. Big leap on Cockatoo Collins. How's that for a mark?
Drew, I just love the Aboriginal players. They have tremendous skills. They are creative, they have flair, and they're quite prepared to have a go at the ball when it's there. And Shay Cockatoo Collins did so then.
And good play, good coaching by Shooty to get them into the centre square.
This to make the margin 2 points. What a game we had. Cockatoo Collins plucked out of nowhere to play in a huge game, and he's kicked 3 goals.
And the two boys there together, Michael Long and Shay Cockatoo Collins, moving it into the centre together. Cockatoo Collins being able to float down now, be able to create an opportunity over the top of Johnny Hassel. This centre bounce, the two boys are there again with Gary O'Donnell and Peter Somerville.
Well, he's got...
The Bombers have kicked 3 goals in 5 minutes.
Amazing. Now, here's Gavin Brown, caught, gets in a hand pass to Hassel. The Magpies need a goal, but Wanganeen's waiting underneath. He hugs it to his chest up high. Brilliant mark there by Wanganeen. Characteristic of him, of course, as he brings it in towards the centre wing area. No mark to Barry Young. Big Alessio hooks it out towards Cransberg, and it flicks off his fingers. What a great position. It's right on centre wing. 2 points the margin. Magpies in front, and a 90-odd thousand crowd. Fantastic.
Essendon's handballing. Ratio of 3 to 1. Burns punts the ball up in the air. That's not really to the advantage of the side. Cockatoo Collins again. Short pass. Masiti, who started so brilliantly on Gavin Brown. Beaten by McGuan in the 3rd quarter. Kick by Masiti. Somerville from behind punches down. McGuan clean ball. Here's Hurd going away from goal. He gets support from Joe Masiti. 51 metres out. He's hooked it. It is through for a behind. It's 1 point the difference at the MCG.
Drew, if Joe Masiti has improved his fitness as was being told during the summer, he should now really take Mickey McGuan on and grind him in.
The pressure on the Magpies now. Essendon with a run on. Good play, Kosciuszko. Long kick. James Hurd pushed out of it. Simons, he's got no, he went without it. Ola Renshaw, the chip passes on. Alessio, here come the Bombers. The chip pass again, and Ryan O'Connor is hit on the chest from a daisy cutter from Joe Masiti.
Well, it's hard to tell who the crowd favourite is. I reckon the crowd's 50-50.
Well, they've both got huge followings. There's plenty of them here. Crowd of around about 90,000, obviously. It's totally full. Here's the kick from O'Connor. It's wide. Will it sneak through from behind? Well, scores a level. Well, what more could you ask in front of a crowd like this? Perfect day. Look at Lee Matthews, Stan Magro, Ron Richards. Who'd want to be a coach?
Well, there's been talk that maybe another defeat would put Lee Matthews under a bit of pressure. How would you like this pressure?
But you've got to
7 minutes to go. There's nothing he can do about it. The score's a level.
You've got to admire the courage of Essendon. They always come back. They've done it for years.
Collingwood 15-9, Essendon 14-15. It adds up to 99 points each. Kelly kicks in. The gloves go up of Young. Can't mark. Christian tries to paddle through. O'Donnell. Cockatoo. Collins. He'll be in the 18 next week, I promise you that. Mercury.
Well, Mercury's a great kick. You'll have to kick 53 metres though, Terry.
Goes in short. And Ricky Olorenshaw has it.
He's been good all day. Olorenshaw has been able to create gaps and find space. And at times some of his disposal hasn't been as good as what it should have been, but this is a crucial shot here.
He's not the longest kick in this side. He is not a long kick of a footballer. Just about test him out.
Somerville and O'Connor in the square.
26th disposal is a great kick. Well, the Bombers have fought back and they lead by 6 points.
Well, who would have believed this, Terry? Who would have believed it?
You couldn't pick this. I mean, this game now is right down, and it has been for some time, down to the little 1%ers. Which player from which club is prepared to make the difference at each particular intersection of the ball?
A great coaching move by Sheedy to get Cockatoo Collins and long onto the ball. It's made an enormous difference. Here's McGuire. Oh, clever play by Ola Renshaw. There's Williams going without it. Ola Renshaw again. Oh, well played as we see going forward for the Bombers. Renbold, the half forward, and it's a Collingwood mark. Or is it back here, a free kick on centre wing behind the play to Mickey McGuire?
Very soft one called by Rowan Saws there. Mickey McGuire was running into Somerville. Ball was well and truly gone.
Essendon have kicked 4-4 to nothing since the 8-minute mark. Moncourse got one high. Play on, says the umpire. Tackling is fierce. Brereton paddles. Williams can't break the tackle. Chance here for Wild, the first gamer. Oh, Cockatoo Collins gets the ball out. Well done. Hey, has he been worth the fine that they'll have to pay?
Any amount you'd pay for a performance like this.
Well, we were amazed when he was off the ground during that third term, Terry.
And I'm sure Kevin Sheedy is personally at this stage too.
I think they might have some money in their wallets after the take from this game today, so whatever the fine is, 1,500 shouldn't bother them.
Well, a magnificent spectacle this. Great game of football, two committed sides. Collingwood desperately need a win. Essendon trying to hang on to their unbeaten record this season. Moncourse has been superb, battling hard all day against the tall Essendon players. Alessio and Somerville, and eventually it rolls over the line. Some tired players out there.
And that's the key to it at the moment. I think Collingwood, Moncourse coming back, McGuire a little bit underdone, Kerrison coming in with an injury. I think this may find them out now.
Gavin Brown goes to ground, shuffled back to the boundary line. It's on centre wing. The Bombers by a goal, and we've got just under 5 minutes of play left. I would venture to say Collingwood would not want Essendon to kick the next one, or they'd be in big strife.
Collingwood kicked the first goal of this last quarter, and it looked as though it might have been enough, but the Bombers have come back and kicked the last 4. Ball out of play again. Clock down to 4 minutes 49 remaining in the game. A straight kick the difference. Essendon in front. And look at Lee Matthews. If they lose this, that'll be 4 straight. They've got Hawthorn at Waverley next week. McGuire boot to ball. Chance here for the Pies. Oh, brilliantly done, Denham. McCurry spun in the tackle. He's holding it, says umpire Saws. Free kick to the Pies to be taken by Hassel.
John Hassel on centre wing. You look for Rocker. Rocker's there with Fletcher. Rocker from the side. Fletcher from the front. Free kick.
Free kick.
But which way is it going? Is it going to Rocker or Fletcher? Well, I don't know about that free kick.
If it's going to Rocker, it's a bad decision.
Well,
Rocker gets in and
Fletcher,
takes him out.
That's a ridiculous free kick.
Not a good one, umpire.
Well, a very lucky one to Severio Rocker. I think Fletcher took front position. Let's have a look. Front position, Fletcher flicked. And did he have him by the arm? That's the question. A very dicey one at a vital time. 7 goals to Rocker. Scores will be level if he kicks it. He's gone. Scores a level.
And so we can debate the decision for as long as we want. It doesn't matter. It's whatever the umpire calls is what the game goes by. And the umpire's called it a Severio Rocker's ball. He was the one with the shot, and he has been able to kick the goal. Excellent work.
Back in the middle with 4 minutes remaining, and the score's level. Buckley, haven't seen so much of him in the last quarter. He gives up the hand pass to O'Donnell. Long kick by O'Donnell. O'Connor. That clears him. Well played, O'Connor. Here's Hurd. Sees daylight. Goes for it and kicks a runner. Look at that. Sheer genius by James Hurd.
The contest is deep in the pocket. There's pressure all around. Hurd somehow finds the space to be able to step on his right foot, curl it in so very happy with himself to put the Bombers right back in front.
3 minutes and 40 seconds left in this magnificent game of Australian rules football as it's flicked back by Somerville. Brown is there. After him is Cockatoo Collins to half forward. No mark to Wild. Taken by Wanganeen. Gets in a hand pass. Diving on its Moncourse. And the ball is locked in here on centre wing. 3 minutes and 20 seconds of play left. Essendon lead by a goal.
Waiting for the bounce out at centre wing. 3 minutes and 5 seconds left. And Essendon leading by a straight kick. Cockatoo Collins for the boundary line. Well played. What a game he's played. Picked in the reserves. Last minute inclusion. Magnificent. Another boundary throw in. Somerville and Moncourse. Moncourse to Buckley. Hand pass all right. Right. Met in a head on. Here comes Nathan Buckley again. Gets clear. Brereton and Rocker there. Brereton to ground. Tim Darcy, the ex-Geelong player, reviving his career with Essendon, finds the boundary line with the help of Cransberg.
Well, it's on half forward for Collingwood. They trail by a goal. Monstrous crowd here at the MCG. Seeing a wonderful game. 6 points the margin. Thump back to the boundary line. Dermot Brereton limps after it is still in play. He's caught round the neck. Free kick, Dermot. Oh, Collingwood has still got a chance. He's limping. I think he might have been limping off. Here he goes. The former Hawthorn champion. Centre half forward. Rocker again. Can't mark. The ball hits the deck. They charge in after it. Have a look at that. It'll be a bounce. One of the best games of football you'd ever see. We saw West Coast and Adelaide on Sunday. Now we come and see this. The game. Look at the attendance, Drew.
How about that? 94,825. That's bigger than the last few grand finals. Cockatoo Collins to centre wing. Chest mark to Richardson. The Pies aren't done yet. A minute 48 remaining. Centre circle, Graham Wright. All the players on the field bar 4 are in one half of the ground. Christian, long kick, Brereton's there, and Rocker! Savario Rocker can level the scores! He'll be going for goal number 9.
Words just failed me just at this point in time. The way in which Rocker has been prepared to throw himself at everything that has come. He's taken the front position. Never at any stage has he taken a soft option by stepping in behind O'Connor or Dunstall. Fletcher, his direct opponents, always come up in front and always has reaped the benefits of that.
This to level the scores with just over a minute to go. To Savario Rocker, and it's 111 each.
Well, I'm really caught here. I'm taking. How do you give votes in this sort of a performance here? Rocker, the way he's coming each and every time.
Go with the full forward.
He has been tremendous all day. He really has. Now with 9 goals, he's been the man who has given Collingwood the heart and has caused these Collingwood supporters to pump and cheer for their team like never before.
Well, what a vital centre bounce coming up. Somerville flies early. Umpire calling play on O'Donnell. Oh, back it comes to Brown. O'Donnell, it's held to him, and the umpire sensibly will bounce. So we've got to have a look who gets it out again. Whoever goes forward and gets a point will probably win the game.
The scores have been level 5 times in the last quarter, and they're level now.
Magnificent game of football. Here's Somerville. He went without it. Graham Wright caught. Handballs away. It's a loose ball with Buckley. The back post. Big chance. Buckley comes in front of goal. Who'll get it? Rocker is there. Tucked away. Here's O'Donnell. Clever hand pass. Long. On the Cockatoo Collins. On the Cransberg, and away go the Bombers.
Kicked by Cransberg. A chance here for the Bombers. Hurd out at centre wing. 32 seconds. Is that in the back? Play on, said the umpire. Grabbed by Kelly. Up to centre half forward. No mark. Off hands to O'Donnell. Are we going to get the season's first draw? Here's Michael Long. Floats one into Denham. He missed him. A chance for Buckley. There is time. 15 seconds left. Nathan Buckley goes short. Rocker's there. Front of the pack. All Essendon. I reckon it's going to be a draw. Grenville. Time is out. 4 seconds left. The kick by Grenville. There's the siren. Unbelievable. The season's first draw.
Only the 4th draw between these teams since 1897, and the MCG reckoned between 10 and 20,000 were turned away. Rocker kicked 9 for the Magpies, while Cockatoo Collins with 3 was Essendon's leading goal scorer. We're staying at the MCG and moving on just over 12 months. The Fremantle Dockers had made an impact with their distinctive style of play in 1995. In the AFL's centenary year, they arrived at the MCG for a showdown with the Bombers. This was a game that was close all day, on the field and on the scoreboard. Neither side prepared to give an inch.
4 minutes left at the MCG. O'Reilly's kick in. Bandy. Taken out by Doolan.
But he's
pilots and
knocked him
get
out.
away. Looked like a push out with hands to me.
It did.
Ben Doolan, 65 metres out from goal. Hurd caught behind. Hands to it. Norris for the Dockers. Outside of his right foot. Buick camped underneath it. Didn't take the mark, but was pushed, said the umpire, and will take the free kick. Can't get around the man on the mark, Parker. McManus has had a great second half, and now McManus will take a free kick at halfback.
Why doesn't Buick just steady down a bit?
83 points apiece. Chisholm away at halfback. Wants to get around Fletcher. It's a high kick and he's asked a lot of Callaghan. He needs help, but he's got it in the form of Leach. Simons is on his hammer. Rowe there also, who's come into it. Here's Muir. Short little chip into half forward. Wills can cover himself in glory with his fifth from 40 metres.
He has. Come up, but hasn't he, Wills? He was on the bench and now he's back on the ground. What an exciting passage of play. Everybody here hoping he wouldn't kick it, but he did.
Dockers by a goal. 3 minutes remaining at the MCG, and the job ahead of the Bombers. Jared Neesham looking on anxiously. What a performance by his undermanned team. Buick couldn't get boot to ball. Good tackle by Mitchell. Hurd magnificent with his hands to Doolan. Kick by Doolan. Cummings in the goal square. Scott Cummings. He's kicked 3. And a 4th can tie the scores again.
Well, Doolan, Buick just didn't handle it quickly, but it was Hurd who got it out with a nice crisp handball. Just too big then, the big fellow.
Point blank range. Scores level.
That's his 4th and a much needed goal. Scores tied away here. Then it really comes back to the players now. 2.5 minutes left and it's the final quarter. Here it is out of the centre. Buick trying to do a bit too much once again. Just got a foot to it, but it's Hurd who does the clean work. Well done by Doolan. Long into the forward line. Cummings, he's just got the sit too big. Startled once again here because lot comes down to Somerville at the centre bounce. Whether he can get it Essendon's way, and Bandy has got the responsibility for the Dockers.
Certainly the most exciting quarter we've seen for a long time. Goal for goal between the Dockers and the Bombers. Who's going to win it out? It is Buick pushing it away from Mitchell. Mitchell right on his hammer. He's got him in a headlock. Out the back door towards Danaher. Back to Buick again, who's picked himself up. Free kick, tackle high. Advantage paid. Mercedes smoked them Joe to full forward. And a courageous mark by O'Reilly.
No, it's a free kick, Sandy, because Cummings pushed him out. Wow.
He's got the ball. As far as the Dockers are concerned, that's the main thing. Scores are level. just over 2 minutes remaining. And it's getting pretty dark here at the moment, but who cares? Rowe, Mercedes, Somerville pulls it back into half forward. Birthday boy, is it? Gavin Wanganeen. This could be one of the great birthday presents.
He can take his time, Sandy, because the clock ticking down.
Well, any score will put them in front.
Only 2 players or 4 players forward of the centre for Fremantle. Everybody else down this end of the ground.
Kicking from just inside 50, a slightly stammering approach. He starts at left. It's way left. Can anyone take a mark? No, they can't. Sock it up the ground! Che Cockatoo Collins, I thought, kicked a goal, and so did he. But don't worry, Che. You've got it behind, and they're in front. What do you think, Don? Have a close look at this. There.
Oh,
That's a goal.
He did kick a goal.
And now Somerville takes a mark 65 metres from goal.
A minute to play, Drew.
The Bombers lead by a point, and it's on their forward line. Danaher. I think they'll play a bit of possession football here. Well, Essendon kicked the first 4 goals of the game. They led by 27 points late in the first quarter, and we were thinking, how far the Bombers?
45 seconds left.
Down to the boundary line comes Sheedy, and an excellent mark taken by Cransberg, playing his first senior game for the season. He's been there for 7 years. He's played lots of reserves. Sheedy, the clock ticking down to 30 seconds. The Bombers up by a point.
Taking his time. Under half a minute to go.
Clock down to 19 seconds. Peter Cransberg, right to the goal square. Juggled attempt by Somerville.
Everybody's down this half of the ground.
Bandy for the Dockers. It's still there for Essendon. Parker gets the hand pass out. Now they have it cleared. Jones, it's all over. There's the siren. The Bombers by a point. What a game.
The Cockatoo, you little beauty. The Bombers, after struggling for most of the second half, pull off a miraculous win. That goal from Cummings in time on, his 4th, but the star for the Bombers undoubtedly was James Hird. Matthew Lloyd had established himself as the Bombers' full forward in 1997, and by round 20 had topped 50 goals. A week later, he'd be at the Gabba, as Essendon hoped to make up for a poor season against the Brisbane Lions. This was an absolute ripper. Brisbane ahead by 8 points at half-time, and by three-quarter time led by 23 points. The last quarter was classic catch me if you can stuff.
Well, Brisbane's season is on the line in this last 10 minutes of action. We know they've got the West Coast top observers here tonight watching the game because Brisbane's got to play West Coast next week. Here come the Bombers once more. Lynch, tower of strength, bombs the ball out of defence, kicks the ball back. O'Donnell from behind, the skipper, a high flyer. The Cockatoo Collins, you can feel the confidence rising in the Bombers. He goes wide, they can raffle this. Young's got it. Bingo lucky 35. So 79 plays 96. Young's a good 60 metres out.
He's been all right in the last quarter, Barry.
Again, the 2-on-1, Alistair Lynch just arrived late. Not quite light enough for a 50-metre penalty. But
pops it out in front. Wellman. Now, he could be within kicking distance. So White on the sidelines, looks to be in a fair amount of pain.
I think Essendon just might have popped an extra player into the forward line, and all of the Brisbane players just might have lost their matchups just quickly. Something I think Essendon did just when they had to really roll the dice to make up this margin.
So Wellman, this is a great kick off the boot, right on the goal line to Mark Lloyd. Tremendous kick by Wellman, and Lloyd, who has been kept very quiet since half-time by Alistair Lynch.
And this will be one of those situations. Again, Lynch is the man on the mark. The umpire will line Lloyd up with the centre of the goals, which means he's going to be on this incredibly acute angle. It'll be a good camera shot. We'll see what Lloyd does. I think he just has to really be very careful, think his way through it. Well, he's come out very quick and kicked the goal.
He's got it. Got a ball game. He's kicked 4 goals. And Lee, that's one of the rules I'd like to see see the rules committee look at, if you take a mark in the goal square, that you're not put back on that acute angle, that in fact you can come out to the directly out from goal. So we can see this great kick by Wellman.
It's just a great jump, isn't it, by Lloyd? Somehow or other, Lynch had lost him for that moment. He came out very quick. I thought he could have got in a much closer and then came out to open up the angle, but he certainly did it well.
Let's go down the dipper. What's the report on Darryl White?
Yeah, one of the most important players for the Brisbane Lions is off the ground with a thigh injury, and we won't expect him to be back on the ground.
Well, the Bombers have kicked 5 of the last 6 goals, and it's just 11 points the margin with plenty of time left. 8 minutes remaining in the game. Barry Young again goes wide. Carousella trails the race. McAllister, number 4. Daniel McAllister, the last-minute inclusion tonight for Justin Blumfield, making his debut. And what a fairy tale it would be if you debut in a game where the Bombers get up maybe by a point in a thriller. It could finish up that way. They're coming back hard at the Lions. Hardwick centres the ball. Michael Pryor marks, hits the ground running, inside 50. A goal will put them within a kick, and he's got it! The Bombers out of the blue.
Well, this is an amazing situation. A couple of times we've seen Brisbane get clear and Essendon to overtake them, but this is serious stuff for Brisbane. This could be a fine late position hanging on this last 7 or 8 minutes of play again. I think Pryor just drifted forward without any direct Brisbane opponent on him. I think Essendon, as I said, they've played an extra forward. At the moment, they're lining 7 players in their forward half, and the Brisbane defensive matchups all of a sudden have just got a bit messed up.
Well, the Brisbane season is on the line here. Here comes the Bombers once more, out of the centre square. Danaher pumps it back to the half-forward line. Lloyd had it, lost it. Moorcroft's been terrific. He's kicked 2 goals in the last quarter. Hardwick back to Moorcroft. Like the raging bull, gets it back. Lloyd into the square. Fransberg with a flight of the ball. And it's out on the full. A 5-point ball game. 14-12-96 the Lions. The Bombers 14-7-91. They're led by 23 points at 3/4 time. Brisbane. Mercury feeds it off to Denham. Quick hands back to Danaher. Didn't quite hit a target. Fletcher does well. Racamanis. So a bit of pace out of defence. He's off. He's in full burst. The kick's a poor one. Backing back. Great grab. Wellman's got it. Not paid. Johnson. Taken by Cockatoo Collins.
Play on, said the umpire.
Well, the ball, I think, only went a few metres. I don't think it was anywhere near a 10-metre kick. And the umpire obviously agreed. Just, well, 7 or 8, but certainly not 10.
Well, I've seen it paid before, that sort of distance. 5 points. You can see the time clock there. Just under 7 minutes of action left.
Lions led by 34 points at the 5-minute mark in this last term.
It's a bad bounce. Mercury slaps the ball on. Denham did well. Looked like it was caught high. He's got it. There's Matty Clark on the boundary line as well, so some danger here for Brisbane. Their main ruckman off. Clark Keating's also in the crowd. Here's Price. She's kicked a great goal. So the Bombers on the rebound, down towards centre half forward. Hardwick's got it. So from the edge of the square, kicks inside 50. Here comes Kransberg, the high fly, the back of the pack. Berbatov. It's a floater. 4 points. 96 plays 92. Clark, the season is on the line here for the Brisbane Lions.
There certainly is. The season's on the line. If we lose tonight, it's going to be a hard game next week over in Western Australia against West Coast. But Matty's cramping up. Daniel Scott's out there now. I'm sure he'll do a better job to cover.
Well, the main thing is he's fit. Lions by 4 points after they led earlier in this quarter by 34. Bradshaw back in defence. Gets it up to the wing. Gowers in about 25 metres of space. He's got Fletcher ahead. He goes longer. But Johnson. No mark. Wellman gave it a left pitch. Wellman again. Mercury bangs out a hand pass. Lucas tucks it under the wing and goes. Kick by Lucas back to centre wing. Lloyd is there again. Can't mark this time. Young had plenty of it in the last quarter. Tristan Lynch, hand pass to Champion. They're desperate now, both sides. Kick by Richard Champion. Inside centre half forward. Lepic is spoiled by Stevenson. Ball knocked on to Lucas. Hand pass to Cockatoo Collins. The ball knocked towards the boundary line. Kept in by Ashcroft. He goes short looking for Johnson. McCurry meets him with his hip. Ball still there for Johnson. And out of bounds in the forward pocket. And we'll have a throw in. We have just under 5 minutes left. The Lions clinging to a 4-point lead, squandered from a 6-goal lead earlier in this quarter.
And McCurry's done some terrific things in this last quarter in defence. A couple of major plays just then. Dion Scott in the ruck. Champion over the top. Goes to ground. Berbatov takes it over. So they'll toss it back. Lions by 4 points. And under 5 minutes left. Big chance for the Lions. Just 15 metres around from goal. Scott versus Somerville. Ackermanis. Quick snap. Great snap, Ackermanis! He's got it! Lions by 10 points.
Well, it was just the defensive matchups down there. Ackermanis and Pryor. You see that Pryor just left his side when the ball went into the air, and Ackermanis, I mean, a fantastic finish from there. I mean, he really just had to kick the ball virtually straight back over his back, really. It wasn't even a hook. Straight, he was almost facing directly away from the goals. But, gee, that was timely for Brisbane.
4.5 minutes to go. The crowd chanting Brisbane, 10-point lead. But 2 quick goals from the Bombers and they could snatch it yet. Whistle. The other thing was, earlier on tonight, KB, you asked me what the winning score was, and I said 15-12.
That's right, because they've had, what, 15-10, 15-11 and 15-13 as winning score the last 3 times these sides have met. So
incredible, isn't it?
Amazing scoreline.
It mightn't be the winning score, though, because it might get rolled. Cockatoo Collins, back to Moorcroft. Moorcroft to the 50, went a bit too far, smothered by Robbins. Kransberg has it ripped away from him by Dick Foss, and the ball out in the left forward pocket. 102 plays 92. The Lions getting the staggers in this last quarter. Bombers in attack for the throw-in. Like a school game, there's players just chasing the ball. They're all round it. Moorcroft wants to keep it in, but Fletcher makes sure he can't. And they'll look at the tension on the faces of the last home game for the season for the Lions. And not only the fans, what about the coaches?
Well, a testing time, because for Johnny Northey, a loss tonight could spell the end of their dreams of being in the finals. Fletcher, Lloyd, the skipper O'Donnell. This is going to bounce through. It's a 4-point ball game again. A 7-goal last quarter so far to the Bombers, and they still might pinch it.
Well, again, he's probably playing on the half-back line, Gary O'Donnell again, but Essendon are just flooding players into their forward line, and it was just really the quick kick under pressure and through it bounced. Gary O'Donnell, that's really just taking the punt, pushing forward when you need to score the goal.
Been pretty quiet, the skipper. 8 posies. 3.5 minutes left. 4 points the difference. Last time they played up here, it was 1 the difference in the qualifying final last year. Remember, Wanganeen hit the post in the last minute. Chance to catch our breath again as the umpire will ball it up. You could throw a blanket over 20 players for this one.
This clearance is so important, Drew.
Oh, it's not a good bounce by the umpire. Dion Scott did pretty well eventually. Gowers gave it to O'Donnell, though. Cockatoo Collins thumps it as long as he can. Lloyd!
And great play by Cockatoo Collins, because often he'll try and take on opponents, but in that time, Lee, under pressure, he did the right thing. He kicked the ball as far as he could.
Just kicked it in. I must say, that bounce and the one in Brisbane's forward line about 5 minutes ago, if it's a really bad bounce, I mean, really the umpire should be able to recall and have at least a second go at it. Both those bounces effectively have gone to Essendon players, and they got the clearances.
Actually, the bounce favoured Brisbane, because they thumped the ball about 15 metres. But in fact, what happened after they thumped the ball was won by O'Donnell, who gave across the Cockatoo Collins. But two bad bounces, I agree, Lee.
Lloyd to put the Bombers in front. Would you believe it? His kick is there. Essendon in front. A stunned John Northey looks on. Can't believe it. 2.5 minutes to go. And Essendon in the last quarter have kicked 8 goals to 4. Down on the boundary line, Clark Keating, well...
How's the blood pressure?
Get the gear on. Get out there, son.
I don't know what to say. It's absolutely astonishing that we come back like this. But Dipper's been saying there until it comes back. So all we can do now is play this last couple of minutes out and hopefully get a couple of scores on the scoreboard. Bombers, this Innisbrook bounce is very vital for us, and Matty Clark's back out there now, so we'll see how we go.
Bombers by 2 points. They trailed by 6 goals. It's been an amazing comeback. Never sell the Bombers short. Crashing in hard is Young. Loose ball. Coming through hard was Hardwick to Danaher. The Bombers out of the centre square into the forward line. Coming out was young McAllister. Couldn't take the ball. Caracella over the top to Denham. Tried to rocket the ball. Good interception. Lepage now in defence. Comes away. Kicks to space to Tristan Lynch. Cockatoo Collins getting back. Great effort by Cockatoo Collins. Into the square. The Bombers into attack as he pumps the ball back towards 50. Headed for the boundary line. Under pressure, the Bombers lead by 2 points. 104 plays, 102 lead. Just under 2 minutes left.
Fantastic play by Cockatoo Collins. He's coming back with the fly to the ball, but he kept his eyes on the ball, and they both went for the mark. Tristan Lynch and Cockatoo Collins from opposite directions. Tristan Lynch thought he might have got the free kick, but Cockatoo Collins kept his eyes on the ball. If you do that, that's fine.
So a ball up on 50. Caracella had the ball pinned to him. So next week, Brisbane have to go across to Perth to play the West Coast Eagles. Really, their season could be right on the line here. Kransberg pumps the ball back. Big play. Oh, Lloyd in front. No free kick. Back of the pack, Danny Dickfoss wants to keep the ball in. They need a score. Kicks the ball out towards the half-forward line. Lloyd has got it back to Moorcroft. It's been a terrific play in this last quarter. McAllister back to Moorcroft. He's booted 2. Quick snap, back to the square. Kransberg sets himself, he's got it! Sensational play by the Bombers. They've just kept on coming. I said during this last term, when early in this last quarter, Drew, I've seen Essendon do this so many times before under Kevin Sheedy. They just never give in.
Well, they've certainly done that tonight, KB. No doubt about that. I mean, they've come a couple of times during the game, and this to give them a pretty handy lead with only a minute to go.
Kransberg, point-blank range, under pressure, he's missed. So still a chance for the Lions. The Bombers by 3 points, 53 seconds left, Drew.
We know it's 53 seconds to go. In fact, the scoreboard says 31 minutes, 50 seconds. So the Brisbane players know there can't be too much time to go. They really just have to look like kicking the ball long down the centre. It's interesting, the Essendon players are actually blocking up that part of the ground. When you know it's late in the game and you've got to kick in and you also know that you're behind, you've really just got to take the punt and go down the middle.
Just under the pressure, Kransberg couldn't deliver then.
The clock has stopped. A replacement ball comes out. So we might finish up with about a 34-minute quarter here with no major stoppage due to anybody being carried off or anything like that.
It's interesting, the centre square at the moment. The number of Essendon players back there, they've really thought this out and out well. They know what Brisbane have to do.
Lions trail by 3 points, straight up the centre of the ground. The mark not successful. Comes to the back to McRae. High ball, no distance. Lepage gets underneath it, but punches on. Chopped off by Berbakoff. Taken high, no whistle. Lepage again, the hand pass. It bounces on 50. McCurry gets it out of defence. Lloyd unmarked near the centre circle and marks and makes sure he holds it all the way down and uses up a bit of time. Comes out wide to O'Donnell. Had to go back for it, the skipper. 105 to 102. 22 seconds left, and the Bombers have the ball. Berbakoff. The Bombers have never won at the Gabba. They've lost their previous 4 visits here, and just when the Lions needed it to just about clinch a place in the finals, up come the Bombers, second last on the ladder, and they're going to roll them. Kick by Berbakoff, short of the goal square. Huge leap, mark to Barry, mark to Lloyd. Siren! Bombers have won it. By how far? Out goes John Northey, disgusted. They've blown a 34-point lead in the last quarter, the Lions.
and possibly a place in the finals, Drew.
And Lloyd, who has kicked 5 tonight, 2 in this last quarter. 10 marks. He took 12 marks last week against Collingwood. And what a champion of the future. And when you win the game by a sniff and an individual can kick 6, what a contribution. He's lining up for his 6th. Gets away from him. It didn't really matter. The Bombers have won it.
The Bombers sneak home, Lloyd kicking 5 and Brisbane coach John Northey incensed that a goal umpiring decision had cost his player Darryl White a goal. Essendon and Carlton have slugged it out in some nail-biters over the century. Well, the round 18 clash in 1998 was one of the best of them. This was David Parkin's 300th game as coach of the Blues, and one that he'll never forget. We're back at the MCG along with 70,000 fans. This was a blockbuster, and it had the type of ending you either dream about or have nightmares about.
Well, Carlton, it looks like a match-winning lead in a very low-scoring, tight game. But there might be some twists and turns yet. Camporelli bursts out of the middle again. Beaumont. He's played a game. About he's kicking for goal. Back he goes to Camporelli, but too high. Cockatoo Collins is there for the Bombers. Good hands, Mercury. Wide he goes to Berbatov, but too far. Well, he kept the ball in. Back to Mark Mercury. Calthorpe from behind. Punches down. Somerville playing the role of rover. Well done, Calthorpe. Carosella. Inside the 50. Allen is there for the Blues. Silvani to save. Wide to White. White to Brown. They've done it a few times today. Mix it up and what do you got? Milk chocolate. Brown, a good kick. Sexton. Offline with his kick. Well, the Bombers keen to save every point. Hardwick kicks out and in the back pocket Berbatov.
Barnard takes the mark. He's almost down to half back. They've got just under 12 minutes, Essendon, if they're good enough. 52 plays 77. Big margin in the context of this game. Murphy. On the outer wing. Kicks into half forward. Whitnell couldn't take it. Manton is there for the Navy Blues. Away he goes to Sexton. A floating punt into no man's land. Which way will it bounce? The Bombers now defending grimly. Blumfield gets the hand pass away to O'Donnell. Is forced to accelerate. Then finds something at the back. Wellman has got him at half back. Sean Wellman gives it away to Barnard again. Gets underneath it. It's not a pretty kick. It's high. They'll all clamour for it. McKay waits down. Can't take it cleanly. Silvani comes away with it. Tumbles it back towards the centre. Only as far as Fraser. Now they need a goal out of this. Fraser to full forward. And they might just get it with Mr. Lloyd kicking for number 5.
Oh, Sos, you were caught then.
Well, he was caught out because of an unlikely turnover. It was just a poor kick. And we'll see it coming up here. It was from Sos himself. He had the footy, and at the moment that Sos was kicking the ball, his man was running towards the goal mouth.
He said, oh, heck, I better get on my bike and get back to him.
I'm in trouble.
9 kicks and 4 goals so far for Matty Lloyd. This one to keep them in touch. Walk's just come on for Carlton, and we're going to watch this boy. We might have just snuck it home. Just. But it's there. 5 goals to Matthew Lloyd. And they hang on. 8-10 plays 11-11.
Yeah, they keep the game alive here. Essendon are capable of kicking 2 or 3 goals in quick succession. But, John, you've highlighted an area of the game that the Bombers have struggled in, and that's just taking the ball away in this last couple of passages of play. But you notice that they're all prepared to take the defensive setup, and Carlton the same, and it's been Carlton winning.
Matthew Lloyd has 5 goals. Not too many can boast that sort of a return on Stephen Silvani. Ball back in the middle. Allen gets it going the Blues way. Brown. But he can't clear the centre square, and the umpire will ball it up. 70,969. I'm sure it built up after the start of the game, because I think it was struggling to be that at the start. And I think a lot of them maybe huddled up out of sight, up the back of the stands. There's been a bit of a threat of rain, but it hasn't rained all day. It's a great attendance, isn't it? Whitnell, good hand pass to Camporelli. He comes up short. Koutafidis. At the back, Caracella. Not much distance. O'Donnell has to wait. McKay gets it away from him.
It's had a great final term. Scott Camporelli for the Blues.
Lucas off for Essendon. Rhino back on.
Camporelli 6 kicks in this term, and we've been playing 14 minutes.
Fletcher out the back. The Bombers need the next one smartly. Calthorpe high towards centre wing. Cockatoo Collins is there, so too is Buick. But they're under plenty of attention. Hogg almost could have received a free kick.
And Matthew Hogg's been one of the Blues' best. He's had 17 possessions, and at the same time he's kept Darren Buick, one of the match winners for the Bombers, to just 10 possessions, 6 of those kicks and 4 handballs. But importantly, no goals for Darren Buick.
The lights on here at the MCG. Just a slight spitting of rain. Nothing serious at the moment. It was forecast for late in the day.
I've just said the rain's held off all day, and what happens 30 seconds later, here it comes.
And there it is. 8-10 plays, 11-11. Serious ramifications for Essendon, but they haven't lost it yet. Johnson, 47 metres from home. They need it, and they've got it.
Sandy, that's one of the goals of the year that I've seen. It was just an individual performance by young Jason Johnson. He was involved in an extremely quick handball. Just have a look at this passage of play. There it is there. Quick hands over to Buick. Buick's handball was intercepted, but going through at a rapid rate of knots was Jason Johnson once again, following up his good work, and then belted it straight through the middle to keep the Bombers alive.
Well, Jason Johnson has just produced a bit of football magic to kick a goal there to give the Bombers still a hope. Johnson, 20 years old from the Calder Cannons, taken number 28 in the 96 draft. What a piece of play. Gave the hand pass, got it back, kicked a great long goal on the run. But here come the Blues again through Hume, and he hangs his head after giving that one up to Fletcher. Fletcher across the ground to the southern stand side. Just to 13 points the margin, and with still 8 minutes to go, a game which had looked Carlton's is alive still. Cockatoo Collins just inside the boundary line, centre wing. His kick short of the 50. Bradley works to the rock. Calthorpe, well done. Play on. He centres the ball. Hitting it very hard. Moorcroft gets it across to Somerville. He hoists it high. Yours. At the foot of the pack, Hume to make amends, but he hasn't found the boundary line. This is on 50, and a bit of space here for Caracella. Into Buick. The Bombers lifting. A centering kick. Oh, good mark, Murphy.
It was strong, wasn't it? It's the second telling mark he's taken in 5 minutes, Justin Murphy. Another good game from him.
Short to Sexton, but he takes it on the half volley. Hogg caught one high. No free kick. Play on is the call. The pressure building now. Blumfield gets rid of it quickly to O'Donnell. Hurriedly onto the left foot. He pokes it into the hole. And there once again is Murphy. Steady as a rock. Wider to Allen.
And Gary O'Donnell just exposed there with no right foot.
McKay.
Costly under that sort of pressure.
On the outer side of the MCG. Swings it in towards Whitnell territory. Fletcher goes to ground. Bradley, a little chip to go 20 or so metres. O'Donnell may get there and keep it in play. He does. But that's very wide, and it's out of bounds on the full. A let-off for Carlton. McKay to bring it in.
So all the momentum then, the Bombers. It should well have resulted in a goal.
6.5 minutes left. 64 plays 77. Carlton leads, and that too has gone out on the full.
What was that?
Well, it was anything but pretty. Wellman. Popped a heavy one earlier in the match, but is okay. Goes short to O'Donnell. Swings it in towards the middle. Kept out was Camporelli. They look dangerous again, Essendon.
Over.
Moorcroft goes over the top to the Rhino, who can steady, shoot and goal. The Bombers are still here.
Well, that was a
Johnson in the middle was there again.
Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? We've seen him play a couple of absolutely outstanding quarters for the Bombers over the last 2 years, but he hasn't been able to force his way in as a regular in this Bomber lineup, but he's got a big future in footy. But a much better passage of play there by Gary O'Donnell. He did pinpoint the pass. It was a bit of a gamble, but it came off, and this was a good kick under pressure from the Rhino. Now this is a big takeaway from the centre bounce. The Blues have absolutely blitzed in that area, but this one has got plenty of pressure written all over it.
And Allen wins it down to Brown. Fraser Brown bursts up to full forward, kicked out of there by Wellman, knocked forward by White. Caracella, one-touch footy, that was great. Ball bounces end on end. Cockatoo Collins, Moorcroft fighting hard for the ball. Season on the line. Calthorpe. O'Connor, he's still a chance in the pocket. The Rhino. His strength kept him in play.
Oh, good play, Lloyd.
Here's Matty Lloyd. Use of the hips was great. Buick goes back with a hand pass. Calthorpe smothered. O'Connor again. Buick, it won't make it. Cockatoo Collins is there. And through for a point it goes to make it one straight kick the difference.
And time, not a factor. Over 5 minutes remaining.
Not a bad game of footy, is it?
What a thriller.
Started at 1 mile an hour and finishing at 100.
But the Blues have got an absolute advantage in centre bounce takeaways. It's not going to help them at the moment, but if it goes back in there, the Bombers have got to do something about Fraser Brown, who's slaughtered him in that area all day.
Carlton led by 25 points at the 12-minute mark of this final term. And now it is a very different story. McKay and Brown head towards Whitnall. Couldn't quite trap it cleanly enough to keep it in play. They didn't give him a lot of room in which to move. One straight kick in it. Well, in their earlier meeting, there was a point, the difference at the end of the day. There's Whitnall. Somerville.
O'Donnell's now gone on to Brown, and Calthorpe's gone back to pick up Craig Bradley.
And here is the man you're talking about. Ripped away from the ball. Almost taken over the line. This time, Koutafidis keeps it in. Brown was slung. Gee, it is tight in there. Berbatov, interesting the way he got beat the ball on that occasion. Slapped back once again. Wellman, twisting and turning, loses the footy. Caracella's on the end of it. Blake Caracella into Johnson. What a spark this boy's provided. Johnson from the centre, kicks up towards Lloyd at half forward. One grab, couldn't take it. Buick blast clear. Left foot snap in towards goal. He pulls it away to the right. It's out of bounds in the right forward pocket. And there'll be a throw in.
What an opportunity for Buick, and he knows it. Over 70,000 at the MCG, and they're finding some voice now. Bombers trail by 6 points. It's flipped towards the goal square. Manton slung to the ground by Barnard. Great tackle. Camporelli gets it to Sexton. Oh, Diolio couldn't take it. Masiti short. Oh, Cockatoo Collins almost.
Hurt himself.
Still down the cocky. White goes short to centre wing. At fever pitch, the crowd. White's hand pass. Hume to Brown. Brown to Bradley. Calthorpe too late with the spoil. Is at 50. Carlton fans say yes. Umpire says no. Cockatoo Collins come down on his jaw by the looks of him. He was at such full stretch. Camporelli had a brilliant finish to the game. Whitnall. White offline. but it's a 7-point lead to the Blues.
It's a big behind, isn't it? Oh, what a finish. And this Cockatoo Collins. We'll have a look and see what happened to him, Jared.
Well, he does do a flat-out dive. It was a great effort. He just doesn't quite get there, but there you see him smashing his head into the MCG turf. And he would have been dazed after that one.
Prodigious kick back into play. Wellman was one of the flyers. Johnson comes away over the centre towards Buick. He's got it in front of Hogg. With 2 3/4 minutes remaining, they're down by 7 points. Buick will blast from the middle. It's a big punt kick. They need a big mark. Lloyd! Lloyd! He's got it, I think. They're still there. Oh! 1 point again. It's the margin. Can you believe it?
No.
In a word.
What a comeback from the Bombers after seemingly being out of it. I think it got out to about 17 points, the deficit.
25.
25, in fact. Well, you would have said then that the game was almost gone, but this is a fantastic comeback and a fitting result to a good match.
2.5 minutes remaining. A point the margin. And when they last played in round 3, it was a point the margin. That time it was Essendon in front. Carlton lead by a point now. Calthorpe out of the middle. Inside 50. Big early leap by Koutafides. Not near the ball. Buick loses control. Kouta followed up and got the ball to the line. And it's out of bounds. Just inside the attacking 50 for the Bombers. We could get a repeat of a 1-point margin. Cockatoo Collins has gone off after that full-length dive and he landed on his jaw. What a finish. After the Blues led by 25 points at the 12-minute mark in this term, Essendon back to within 1.
From the throw-in, Brown picks it up now, tries to get out of the tackle. Carlton need possession. They need to maintain it. Caracella needs to score. At least Essendon does. Caracella to Calthorpe. Get those little pistons pumping. He gets underneath it. It's high. They're inside 50. They need a mark. Moorcroft gave away centimetres. And Darren Goldspeak's tapping his bottom. What's that suggest?
Well, he's paid the mark to Moorcroft and telling the other umpire to go down to the goal square, and the mark definitely paid to Moorcroft. I don't think he controlled it.
Here's the kick. As he goes on with the job and puts through one behind. Scores are level with 1 1/4 minutes remaining. 1:25 in fact. 11-12 apiece. They have come back from looking gone. 25 points down earlier on in this term.
You'd call this a pressure kick.
Well, he's pretty good, Bradley, normally. That was no exception. Brown has it at half-back. Carlton have had problems scoring, though, in the last few minutes. It's all been down one end of the ground. Sexton gives the hand pass away. They've only got just over a minute left now. They kick towards half-forward. It was a bad one for Whitnell. The Bombers tidy up again, going to the outer side. Carlton have the numbers. And the mark is taken. Here's Rice. Look out, because Moorcroft is there once again. He gives it away to McCurry. McCurry's running inside 50. 40 metres out. He shoots and he scores. Oh! Marked on the line. Marked on the line by Silvani. Kicks it back into Rice. He's clean bowled. Lucas is back on. Lucas shoots. Essendon hits the front. Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
Oh, Stephen Silvani.
Jared, why would he choose to do that?
Listen to that crowd. Incredible.
Well, let's just have a look. Steve Silvani takes one of the best marks of the afternoon to save what we thought was going to be not only the match but 4 points. And then in an effort to get the ball on quickly to Rice, he doesn't quite hit it. And the mistakes are costly.
.31 seconds remaining, and the Bombers have stolen this, but there's time yet for the Blues to get a draw. Oh, Stephen Silvani's kick out of defence, straight up the ground with no distance. Bradley gets the hand pass to McKay. Beaumont has been a very good forward today. Marked everything on the forward line. In short, Camporelli swamped. Free kick to him.
And importantly, Camperelli, one of the few players on the ground that could convert from this distance, and he may know that the siren
Is imminent.
is imminent. He'll also probably find out very shortly that the game's over.
Probably go before he kicks it, or as he kicks it, and it comes up short. The Bombers win by 6 points.
Incredible.
After being 25 points down halfway through the final term.
The most talked about match of the 2001 season was undoubtedly the Bombers' clash with the Kangaroos in round 16. 51,000 at the MCG, and they were stunned as the Roos, without skipper Carey, piled on 12 first quarter goals. By half time, the Bombers though had clawed their way back into the game. The second half was one for the ages. We pick up play in the third quarter.
16 goals won. It's still a phenomenal scoreline, isn't it, for a half of football? The accuracy. They're only behind, coming right on the siren at quarter time. They had to go very painfully short. And Lloyd, well, I thought he was within distance. He obviously didn't agree because he played on. Barnard spotted someone out of the corner of the eye.
Loose checking, that was.
And Jacobs is able to take the mark. Had a long time to man up on him, but they just couldn't get there in time.
And he was there on his own for a considerable number of time, and Teague saw he was on his own, but deemed that he wasn't his man, Hawk.
Yeah, it didn't go to him, did he, on that occasion? Just not sure of a few there. I thought Lloyd may have gone back there. He was on the 50-metre line. He's a very good kick. So that wouldn't be beyond him 50 metres, but he played on.
Danny Jacobs just kicked the 4 goals for the year. And that's pretty good. So the Bombers start with a goal in the third.
And they're back in this contest within 13 points, their closest margin since early in the first term. Ball goes to half forward. They're inspired at the moment. Barnard bangs it inside to Hurd, who's starting to cut up Archer. Takes the mark. Mark number 5. Sun in the eyes of Lloyd, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what's in his eyes. He is on fire at the moment. And if he kicks this, the Bombers, in the space of 25 minutes of football time, will have erased a 69-point lead back to 7 points.
The round corner kick from Paul Barnard was absolutely brilliant to find James Hurd. And I thought you caught it right, Hutchie. No doubt Lloyd had the sun in his eyes. I think Jason McCartney had the same problem. He appeared to put the hands up to try and shoot that sun from his eyes as well.
Matthew Lloyd, he kicked 1 goal in the first term and 5 goals in the second term for a total of 6 today.
6 kicks too, Hutch.
Thank you, Hawk. Lloyd's kicked the goal. 7 kicks, 7 goals. So it's not such a free-spirit, free-flowing game. It still is by normal accounts, but not compared to the first half. And that's going to be to their favour. They can just play man-on-man football and hold on from here. They can win this game, but the Bombers will keep coming, and keep coming they do. Get out of my way, says Jason Johnson. Gave the big Donahue and kicked the goal.
Lulich has done a good job for them in the middle. He's just started to give them something out of the middle in this quarter. Nice work from Solomon. Gets it in quickly. Alessio back on the ground. The big man's got it. Not paid. Cleaned up by McGrath, and he kicks a goal. It's a 1-point ball game at the MCG.
By three-quarter time on a still and perfect day for football, 41 goals had been scored, and the Roos led by 14 points. This match, though, was far from over.
Good hands. Good work from Sinclair. They're under pressure. The turnover's on. Here they go. Carosella dragged down. Immense pressure on all players with the footy. McCurry learned about it. His kick was ordinary. Sav from one step. Thumps it down long. Shannon Watt. He's been strong. Couldn't take the mark. Shannon Grant. He was a star in the first half. He slips over and the kick was not where he wanted it to go.
He had 2 on the other side.
He did. He had 2 over there. McKernan was one of them.
Lucas goes out wide and finds Hardwick.
And the Bombers go again to Johnson. That's Mark Johnson. As Hutto said, he has been a key contributor in the second half. Rawlings invented something then, was clever. Sinclair went again to Rawlings, who banged it onto the boot to centre half forward, and Harvey will take it. 55 out. He's got to go quick, Hawk.
Got to move it quickly. They'll flood back now, the Essendon defence. Too far out, obviously, for Brent Harvey, surely. He likes his chances.
So looks for something to give
Gotta
here.
Be too far out.
No movement, is there?
No, no movement at all.
He's going to go to the square with a taunt.
Oh,
And he's going to the square with a taunt. He does. Makes the distance.
It's
Gets
through.
the accuracy. Brent Harvey has kicked a big goal. Three goals to Harvey. The Kangaroos answer again in an epic.
Well, what I was going to say was he's too far out for a drop punt. I didn't expect him to go back and kick a big torpedo like he did. That was just sensational, Brent Harvey. He's kicked 3 goals now. He's been brilliant.
Well, I don't know if this game can get any better. What is in store for us? 23-6 to 21-8. The Roos have been magnificent every time they've been challenged. And here they go again. Teague off the left boot. Shannon Watts in the middle of it all. McKernan stayed down, so did this man. Harvey tries to wheel clear. He gets clear. He has a crack at them. He has a crack and misses. 11 points the margin. 21-8 to 23-7. 9 minutes gone in the last quarter.
Just on his talk before, Hawk.
Yeah.
They practice those after training every week at
The Kangaroos, do they?
Kangaroos.
Down Arden Street? Okay.
Practice the talks far more than any other side. Mostly for fun, I suspect.
Comes handy, doesn't it,
Came in
sometimes?
very handy there. Barnes has led his opposite, number 22 to the ball in Burton. Takes the mark, hurries the kick. That was poor, but it bounces well for Johnson, who takes off, says, get out of my way again. He's so determined and so cool, this bloke, and he could answer and kick a goal. He has! 4 goals to Jason Johnson, JJ Johnson.
JJ.
And they've all been on the run.
Oh, this bloke is a superstar. Good work from Barnes again. Spider Burton's having some problems keeping up with Johnny Barnes. The kick wasn't that flash. It went over the top there of Brady Rawlins on that occasion. As we say now, Johnson's had 26 touches for 4 goals too. He's been absolutely brilliant.
And you just wonder what further contribution the superstars are going to have in this match. 5 points the difference again. Out of the middle, Jason Johnson, who has been a star today, no doubt about that. The Kangaroos have led since the 7.5-minute mark of the first quarter. And a goal to Essendon would put them in front for the first time since that moment.
It's Joe Mercedes now having a bit of a spell on the bench there, Hutto. We're talking about Jason Johnson. His opponent's been good too, Adam Simpson. He's had 20 touches as well. He's been pretty good in their midfield for the Kangaroos.
Solomon can't get it clear. Every possession so important. He was Byron high then. Carosella thought so. Let the umpire know about it. 11 minutes gone in the quarter. We're getting towards the halfway stage. Not quite yet. Lots of time left for more drama at the MCG. 23-7 against 22-8. Spider and Barnes. Solomon from the side. Every clearance so vital. Barnard, Carosella, Mercury. Been pretty quiet today.
Oh,
that was excellent work. Kept a cool head. And Gary Moorcroft, the man who took the mark a few weeks ago, now has the chance to put Essendon in front.
I just reckon Spider Burton's having some problems keeping up with Johnny Barnes. I know Lee Colbert's only had the 3 touches and had a shocker, but I reckon a move's got to be made. Okay, maybe have Spider start in the centre bounce to make the ruck contest, but after that, get someone else on the Johnny Barnes at this stage.
So Gary Moorcroft, what a year he's had, and what a kick that is under pressure. Essendon are in front. The umpire's ready to bounce it. Matthew Spider Burton. Johnny Barnes. Beaten for it by Burton. Carosella, who's going to get it out of the middle here? The Bombers in the best position. McGrath well trapped up by Cochrane. And really could have been penalised then in the end. McGrath was all over that. Would have been a brave decision, probably the correct one made in the end.
Just been unbelievable, hasn't it, really? Essendon, 11 goal kickers. Lloyd's kicked 9 of the 26. The Kangaroos had 10 goal kickers, McKernan 5 and Rocker 4.
So the ball put down again. There, speaking of Rocker, got the tap down. The roving done by Burton, kicked an amazing goal early. Oh, he just shoved off Corey McGrath, said, get lost. Here comes Shannon Grant. Here's Sinclair now, tackled by Hardwick and the ball out of bounds. 26-9 to 25-8. 4.5 minutes remaining. Can the Kangaroos kick the next goal? Wouldn't they love to have that man out there at this stage? Burton in front. From behind. It was Watt that took it towards the line. Kept in. Oh, David King stole it. Doesn't get the goal. Rocker or Jacobs, a bit of a fumble. Was it out of bounds? It was. So we'll see a throw in, and they're deep in attack.
Yeah, great play by King, but I think Shannon Grant just kept that one alive. He just gave a slight little tap back to David King. Shannon Grant, you've been brilliant. 25 touches and 2 goals.
Important play this for the Roos if they're to have any hope. Burton did well. Cochrane almost farmed it. Fletcher took a punt to go across goal. A foot race, a classic old-fashioned foot race. And Watt gets there first, palms it back towards Grant, who looks tired. He's been in a couple of heavy clashes. Lucas heads for the boundary line, and Rawlings is just gone out.
Oh, be careful. Be careful. You get a free kick against
that. A free kick, Rawlings. Such an important stage of the game. Doug Hawkins belts the desk, not because he's barracking, but because he's barracking for the game.
It's been a terrific game.
Hardwick, the target will be heard. He's got 2 to beat. Blakey at the back. McGrath's played such an important role in this resurgence in the second half. Barnes to McGrath again, wrapped up magnificently. The umpire, quite rightly, decides to bounce. The time just continues on to the advantage of the Bombers. 26 minutes and 50 seconds played in the final term. As you can see, 3.5 left. So the Kangaroos have got one last roll of the dice here. They need to break and score a goal, or at least a point from this stoppage. Throw in. Burton and Lalich. Won by Burton. It comes to King, who's got himself back into the game. Kicks to a contest. You're going to have to go. Corey does! He takes a big mark! Yes! Corey McKernan has been dragged through the mill in season 2001. He had a game where he didn't get a possession against Richmond. Today, he has answered the critics in the best possible fashion. He's taken 8 marks,
11
kicked 5 goals, and had 13 hit-outs, and had the chance to put the Kangas within 1. This could be a landmark moment in Corey's career. High to score. Puts them within 6, though. 2:45 left on the clock. They so needed a goal.
Great mark, wasn't it, in the pack? Corey McKernan
screaming at himself.
Gee whiz.
There's plenty of time. There is plenty of time. 1 goal the difference. It's been a magnificent match. We've said that time and time again. And what a finish. Fletcher goes long, looking for Mark Johnson. Good work, though, from Rocker. He hasn't played 4 great quarters, but he has worked hard for 4 quarters, and that would be the most pleasing thing. 16 possessions, 8 marks. He's kicked 4 goals, 1. He was dynamic in the first quarter. Essendon led by 6 points. They trailed by 69 at one stage, but the Roos aren't dead yet. And here's McKernan again. This time he couldn't pull it down. Watch out, Byron was coming. Downfield, it's a free kick. It's a free kick. Advantage was paid. Now it's going to come back. It's going to come back and be a free kick to Essendon in the middle. It's going back.
Who was that against, Hutto?
It was against Byron Pickett. Late contact after the ball was kicked down the field. Sure. And now the umpire's going to make them take it all the way back. Oh no, that's where he's...
Such confusion here, though. That's all we need.
Blake Carosella with the ball now. Essendon are going to start doing the short, chipping, holding on to the play. They can see their time clock shows 29.5 minutes. So the Kangaroos have to man up. They have to man up. There's still a lot of time.
He's taking his time.
Now the umpire's got to be smart here and tell him to kick, and he does. So Johnson will kick it to the boundary line, or close to it. Lloyd the target. Hurd. Around the line it goes. Moorcroft, let it go. Blake Carosella. It's all over now. points. Might just about be home. You wouldn't think they could lose from here. Perhaps 2 goals could give the Kangas a draw. When we thought they were defending, they still got a goal, and it was James Hurd's kick that broke it open.
It was an unbelievable kick.
It was a great kick by Hurd to just keep the ball alive. Carousel of 7 possessions this quarter.
Such confidence from James Hurd to keep the kick alive rather than head for the boundary. That is a true test of a champion side. Self-belief. And they're going to pinch this game after trailing by 69, the greatest margin reversal in AFL, VFL history. Archer, McGrath, who's been so impressive, and Johnson, who's kicked 4, bangs it inside towards Lloyd, over his head, and 3 against 1. The Kangaroos can clear through Blakey. Goes for the pocket, and Archer marks. No time left at all for the Roos. Gets it to Harvey. The clock ticks towards a minute. Simpson takes the mark. Got to move it quick. He's got Rocker, should take it, dropped the one he should have taken, and then spoiled the second effort of his teammate. A chance for Lucas to get the ball clear, heads for the boundary. Important kick if it gets there. But Sav, who was so good in the first term, needs to lift again and get the handball off. He does to Byron Pickett, dispossessed. Handball misses Sinclair. Lalich pickpockets him for the ball. McGrath wrapped up by 3. What a game of football. And the Bombers...
Sorry, Hutchie, that's not what they needed, the Kangaroos. They needed to take it out of bounds because the clock keeps running. It's called time on now.
"51,000 fans have been emotionally involved in this game since the outset. The Kangaroos kicked 12 goals in the first quarter. They've given it their absolute best without their 2 champions, Carey and Stevens. Archer kicks it inside 50. It'll sit for Corey at the back. It doesn't sit for him. Just about went out of bounds. And does. And Corey, wearing his heart on his sleeve today. His emotions have been so prevalent since that first quarter mark in the goal square when he yelled at himself. Goes again. Lucas, who's probably had a bit of an impact as well down back, in fairness. Finds touch over the boundary for a throw-in. 32.5 minutes gone in the final term, and gets set for an amazing roar from the Bomber faithful. And the siren sounds.
Yes, emotion, I think, will be the word from everyone involved. It's been an amazing day. They started off absolutely brilliantly, the Kangaroos, but the Bombers are such a champion team. They're trying hard. The clock is counting, and the game is over. One of the best ever. One of the very best ever matches played on this magnificent ground over more than 100 years of football. And Kevin Sheedy has brought his team back from where no team has come back before. 69 points they were behind in the second quarter. And the gallant Kangaroos, without their captain in Wayne Carey, without their premiership stars in Mickey Martin and Anthony Stevens, they got out to a huge lead. 69 points, but somehow the Bombers came back.
The Bombers by 12 points in one of the best footy chases in history. 52 goals scored for the afternoon in a masterly display. Lloyd with 9, just superb, and tying up his second Coleman medal. Well, I hope you've enjoyed these Heart Stoppers, some of the great matches, the sort of footy games that prove that our game is just the best in the world.